up, everybody? It's Sam, and we are back with another episode of Pessimistic at Best, the podcast. And I have my good friend Lauren here with me today. Hey, Lauren.
Hello, hello.
I'm excited that we get to do this because I tried to convince Lauren to do a podcast with me before she left for Dallas, and then insane stuff just happened in Texas, and she had to come home, so she couldn't avoid it anymore.
There's no getting out of it this time.
But
I had no excuses.
So good. Yeah, you really didn't. But that's for the best because here we are. And honestly, it's better that we did it now instead of the last time because I have these cool mics and we can just have our own couch. We don't even have to be near each other. It's great.
We won't touch. We will not touch.
We won't even make eye contact. But yeah, I'm excited. And I guess, well, Lauren and I have been friends for forever. Like, I guess, when did we become friends? Like freshman year?
It was when we were on the B team in volleyball.
Yeah.
It's when we got close.
Well, because I met you through probably Sophia.
Yeah.
Remember that one time when we tie-dyed at Sophia, at BB's house, at her grandma's house?
Oh, I definitely do. And then we went on like a walk.
Yeah.
That's what every middle schooler does.
And then like probably took photos. I feel like
there
that's
are
just
pictures
like,
on Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Yeah. If they're not public, they're hidden and they're on Facebook.
Exactly. Yeah. That's like all we ever did though.
Yeah.
It is really
You just
funny.
go on walks and take pictures because you're so quirky.
And like back then it was pictures on like a real camera.
Oh yeah, it's one of those little like silver
A digital, yeah.
the cool ones that are digital. Oh my God, you took like 1,000 pictures. Like you always, I felt like I was always begging for like more, like of a bigger microchip or whatever you put in there. I don't even know how they work now.
Yeah, same.
I don't think I could do it.
I don't think I've seen one of those in years. Like, I don't think.
I don't. Do
And
they
how
sell
did
them?
we get those on Facebook? I genuinely don't know.
I couldn't figure that out now.
Yeah.
I'd have to take a class on how to upload a picture from an old digital camera.
And it would just be like one stupid walk, one afternoon, and we would have 1,000 photos from that day.
Literally.
Yeah.
And they'd be on everything. Like we'd comment on them all stupid too.
Yeah, right? Like the dumbest caption.
OMG, what are you doing?
Yep. Really stupid.
Yeah, no. I do remember that though. I think that was probably the first time we hung out.
Yeah, I think so too.
And then like we'd see each other.
Because that was probably middle school.
Yeah. So we were like acquaintances, I want to say more so in middle school. Like we were friends, but we weren't like personally one-on-one close.
Yes.
Until freshman year.
Fucking B team. Yeah.
We both were very mediocre at best at volleyball.
Yeah. It really does bring you closer, doesn't it?
Yeah. Both being shitty.
Yeah, both being banished to the worst team.
Yep.
But I mean, we made the most of it. We really did. And remember when I made you that cute wooden bee?
You were my secret Santa, I think.
I was.
And I got just a reminder that we were both not good at sports.
Yeah, I should have actually maybe thought that went through.
No, I loved it. I honestly think I have it still in my basement. I'm not kidding. You like decorated it and
I
everything.
did. It was actually really sweet.
It's very
of me.
sentimental.
Yeah.
To keep me grounded, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. Hey, remember that time you sucked at volleyball? Me
Check
too.
your ego at the door, okay, Lauren?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we've literally been friends forever. And up until, I guess, you moving to Dallas, we've basically been, well, that's not true. You were in California for
Yeah, a little.
a year.
A stint.
Yeah, a stint.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, it was like a year.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we have to talk about Dallas because you're my actual... You gave me like a window into what really happened.
Your eyes and ears.
Yeah, into that insane polar vortex power outage situation, which it is actually pretty crazy because thinking about it, like everything I was reading on the news, like I was sitting there being like, oh, this looks nuts. But it's not until I heard you and what you had to say that I was like, wow, this is like actual pure chaos.
Yeah, like, I mean, I've lived in Madison for so long. We've had so many snowstorms.
Bad ones.
Yeah, everything where like you couldn't drive if you wanted to.
Right.
But I've never seen a city more shut down than Dallas with an inch of snow. And it wasn't the snow that was really the issue. Well, it was, but it was like the electricity and power everywhere.
I mean, like,
down.
That's so fucked up that it can just take, an inch of snow to bring the city to a halt.
And the things that you wouldn't think about, like I don't think I would not have processed it the way that I did when I was there, obviously, because you see it and you're like, whatever.
Right.
It sounds bad. I'm like, no, you can't even imagine. I'm the least affected by something like this. Like, I only have to worry about myself.
True.
I don't even own a home. I'm not renting either. I'm bumming with my friend, Charles Jaden. I'm living in her apartment for free. But, like, I couldn't do anything. Like, there was you couldn't go anywhere because everything was closed. Like, even like all corporate places like Walmart,
They
Starbucks.
were closed?
Yeah, like everywhere that should still be open no matter what was closed.
Whoa.
And then we went to, it was like the day after the 1 inch of snow. Mm-hmm. So this had been going on for less than 24 hours so far. I went with Jaden's friend Amara to try to find a lantern or a generator, and we could not find one.
Dude, that's so fucked.
We went into, it was like 11 a.m. the next day. So mind you, this is probably like 20 hours in, not even. And we went into a Home Depot, and it said the things that we're sold out of. And it was firewood, generators, lanterns. Like there was
Any
a list
heat
of like
source.
15 things. And then they started actually taking like plywood and cutting it down for free there so people could use it as firewood, which I'm like, what are we doing with that?
That's insane. Yeah, right. You can't just light a fire in the middle of the apartment.
Yeah, there's like, so I get there's housing, like houses and stuff like that. And that's what the majority of the firewood was for.
Yeah.
But where I was in an apartment complex, which has like 500 apartments or something. And
Right.
the power didn't go on once. It's supposed to be rolling power outages. So like once every 4 hours, you're out of electricity for like 45 minutes or something.
Yeah, you guys just didn't have
It didn't happen. It was from Monday at 1 p.m. until Friday. It didn't go on once.
That's so crazy.
And they're like, and they sent out an email, not to me because I don't live there, but they sent out the email to everyone, like all the residents there, and said, sorry about the power outages. We're in this too.
Basically,
go stay with a friend.
Not offering you any.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, right. Oh, fuck you guys.
And mind you, too, we're in an apartment complex, so to keep the heat in is still easier because it's like a big building and we're not all exposed.
Right.
And it was still it was like 62 degrees in there, which since I'm from Wisconsin, not that cold. But if you're living in Texas, you don't have winter coats like I did or Jaden does, or
Totally.
you can't function.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting. So then, because my friend Molly was in Austin, so I was checking in with her a little bit too, because she was putting up like Instagram stories for the first couple days, and she's in a house. I think it's a ranch house, and inside her temperature was like 31 degrees. Like, that's so fucked up.
Yeah, it is.
And it's not even supposed to get that cold in Texas.
That's where I'm confused because the moment I got there, something happened.
Yeah, you brought it.
I brought it on. I'm
You
sorry
are
to
the polar
all
vortex.
of Texas. That was my bad. I will take responsibility.
Yeah.
I can recognize my faults in this. But even when we showed up, so I got to Texas like December 28th is when I drove out there. And it was like 50s. It was overcast. I didn't see sun for like the first week. And I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, this isn't what I signed up for.
And then randomly, like 2 weeks ago, it was like 70 out. It was a Sunday and it was 70. And I was like, this is what it's about.
Yeah.
This is nice. And then all of a sudden, everything's out and it's freezing everywhere.
And it's mad chaos.
And even though, so I just saw, I was looking at someone who lives in Dallas at their Instagram just yesterday on Saturday. It was like 60 degrees.
Yeah, like the turnaround. And then people say global warming's not real.
Well, it's not. It's not. No. There's no way. This just happened for fun. Right. I did this, not global warming. Right. Okay, I'll take accountability for this.
Everybody.
You're welcome.
And I feel like the first thing that I saw was like before it really got crazy was just like that really bad pileup on the highway.
Yeah. So that happened on Thursday,
yeah.
I believe it was. So there was, and it wasn't even, I remember Jaden texted me and I was unaware of anything.
Yeah.
And Jaden texted me because she went to work and she works about 45 minutes away from her house.
It was so far.
Yeah. So it's like a 45-minute because she works in Fort Worth, lives in Dallas.
Okay.
And, or maybe it was Thursday morning. So she went to work Wednesday night. She works night shift. So she was there from 7 to 7 is like what she works. And she was like, my coworkers are making me nervous that I should stay because there's going to be black ice. I was like, what?
She's not the best driver. So I probably would have stayed
but
too.
also, like, I remember in high school when we'd have snowstorms and couldn't go to school, she would still drive to my house.
Well, and like in Wisconsin, you know, you're just like put it in 4-wheel drive and hope for the fucking best.
Yeah, keep it slow.
Yeah.
Keep your distance from everybody. You're fine. Mm-hmm. Just go slow. Go 5 miles per hour if you have to.
Exactly. That's how I drive in winter.
You're going to get to wherever you need to go, whether it's Pizza Hut or my house.
100%. Yeah, those two are the necessary stops.
But yeah, so then I was like, she was talking about how there's supposed to be black ice. And I was so confused. I was like, there's not even rain or snow.
Mm-hmm.
And quite honestly, I think it did rain for like 20 minutes, or it was like a sleet for like 20 minutes. That's it. And it caused this 100-car pileup.
I
Like,
know
I
it.
couldn't even fathom it.
The pictures were crazy.
Yeah. So I was blown away. I was like, I could get a 5-car pileup. Why is there 100?
Yeah, like, why did it keep happening?
I
and
am
getting
so
worse?
confused. And it was like 5 or 6 semis
Yeah.
involved in it.
They were like sideways. Cars were smushed. It was like a
And
whole
that was
thing.
actually the route that Jaden was supposed to go home
Oh, that's
that
scary.
morning when I was like, don't be dumb. You can do it.
Yeah. Such a good friend.
If you're listening now, never take advice from me. I'll admit that, at least when it comes to weather and everything else involved in life.
Safety. Yeah. Your general well-being. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it was like and I couldn't even process it because we have such bad weather in Wisconsin, and driving is like, it's like you can do anything in any weather. You can just make it happen. Right.
Yeah.
My car that I had when I was driving in Wisconsin, mind you, was a 2001 Toyota Corolla. Carol. And she just skates on the ice. Like, she is not doing anything.
Yeah, she's not a snow bunny by any means.
No. And I could still go everywhere. Like, I was
Yeah.
fine. And so for me to see this was my first, like, I don't know what the hell is happening. I can't
know.
even fathom it, and I don't get it. Like, this is dumb.
I know.
I feel horrible saying that now because there were actual, like, deaths, and it was like 5 deaths, I think, and like 35 people transported to the hospital.
Yeah, like major injuries. Yeah.
So, but like, I couldn't figure out,
I know, because that's just such a foreign concept for us.
why that was so, like,
Like,
crazy.
we had that in the bag. But
But I think, too, I have to keep in mind, like, these people who drive in Texas, they're not used to snow or sleet or black ice, and they do drive fast.
Yeah.
Like, and it's, you got it. You're covering a lot of distance a lot of the time anyway, so they're just really making up for the time, I think, in the way that they speed a lot. And if you're unfamiliar with the fact that you need to leave so much space before you stop or anything like that, and then you like run into this, you're kind of SOL.
Well, and I didn't even think about the fact, like, just the basic things that we have so established that we wouldn't even think twice about. Like, they don't have snow tires. They don't have fucking shovels. Like, they're not equipped to handle these things. And then the stores down there don't even carry that shit, because why would they? It's not like you can just run out and grab that the first time there's an inch of snow.
Yeah, no, they can't figure out how to do anything.
They just aren't equipped for this.
And I'm just like, wait, what? I'm the most prepared?
Yeah.
Something's wrong.
Yeah, something is wrong.
Check the state, because this should not be it.
Call the authorities.
I'm prepared for something that's insane.
But yeah, I mean, it just did sound so crazy. And I know my friend Molly went to go stay at a friend's house because they were completely out of power. But then at her friend's house, so she had power there, but they got a notification that they would be turning the water off, which was like a whole thing because everyone's pipes were bursting, and then they couldn't respond to all of those calls. So they were like, we just need to literally shut off the water supply. So then her and her friend, they had like 2 hours, or I don't know, they had some type of warning. They filled up their bathtub with water and then just like crossed their fingers and hope for the best. Like, what?
I saw on Instagram, it was like, if you don't have water, like, go out and grab snow and put it in your toilet so you can flush your toilet.
Like, that's
things like that.
Such madness. What kind of, that's not advice.
I was like, that's not helpful.
Yeah.
You still don't have water.
Right.
And then so people didn't have water, or they would have water, and since there were so many pipe bursts, in order to even use the water, you needed to boil it.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. And you
Yeah,
can't.
so, and you can't. Most people couldn't. Like, some people maybe could. There was also, like, a huge rise in cases of people going with, like, carbon monoxide poisoning because they were trying to heat their house using their gas
Yeah, that's so
stoves.
fucked up.
Like, so many, they were, like, nurses were putting out warnings, like, don't do that because we've already had, like, a huge spike in cases for this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like one thing leads to another, and then it's like nothing's working and you have no solutions.
And I
Except for
just
to
feel
go
like-
stay with a friend who also has nothing.
Right. Yeah, at least you have each other.
Yeah. You'll be together through this misery.
Seriously. And like, I don't know, there was just like, there was nowhere for anyone to turn. Like, you came home, you drove how many miles? Like,
Yeah, like
insane.
over 1,000 miles. I just got in my car and was like, I'm out.
Yeah. Like,
I will admit, in a time of crisis, I am not the one to go to. I'll leave.
yeah. Panic and head out.
You know what? I can't do anything here. No one can do anything for me. I'm going to go.
Yeah,
Peace.
I respect that though, because
Well, I was just sitting there, and it was like the second I had just actually flown in from Chicago, which why I chose to come back, didn't know it was going to be like this.
right.
Whatever. I was only like 3 hours away from my home then.
Yeah.
Could have just taken a bus. I was really mad
that.
when I realized. But it was too late. Like I got in after the stuff happened.
Yeah.
So I wasn't aware. And I also didn't think it was going to be like a whole 5-day thing.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Thought it was going to be maybe like a day and a half.
Right.
And then I was sitting there because Jaden went to work. So this was the second night, technically. So the first night, Jaden and I were together and whatever, it was fine. And then the second night, Jaden was going to work and she was going to stay there and sleep at work so she didn't have to come back. Plus, she had power at work because she works at a hospital and she could shower. So there were two good things there.
Totally.
So why would you come back to an empty, cold
waterless apartment? Yeah.
So she was going to be there for 2 nights. And then after that, she was planning on flying home anyway. Mm-hmm. And then her roommate, Matt, was flying to LA on Friday.
Oh, okay. So really everyone was going somewhere.
And this was like Tuesday night and it was starting to get dark. And I was like, what do I do?
Pack your shit up and head out.
And I was texting Adam actually. And Adam's like, just come home. And I was like, I don't know. And he's like, you don't have power. There's literally nothing you can do. And I'm like, okay. So I just threw a bunch of crap in my car. I grabbed the bag that I had previously had packed. One, I don't even know it was in the bin. I haven't touched it yet because I don't think it's anything useful.
Grab the bin.
I just grabbed the bin, made sure I had my planner and pencils.
I love that about you.
Yep. I was literally driving away and I was like, wait, did I grab my pens? And I touched my purse. I was like, okay, we're good. I can go. And
for the record, Lauren does carry this insane pencil case around, but it's not even like it is the kind you put on your desk. It's like a cup. A cute cup full of like 35 pens.
And they're all fun
with
colors.
You at all times.
They're all fun colors. It's in case I want to write anything in my plan. If a plan comes up.
Yeah, you got to be prepared.
I can't forget it. I don't use anything on my phone. Yeah. I hate using my phone as much as possible. So if we plan something and you don't want me to forget it, you better hope I have my pencil cups. Or my cup of pens.
So we can't leave Dallas without those.
Yeah. So then, it was like within 10 minutes, I decided I was leaving and I just drove through the night and got in at in the afternoon. I was like, wow, I thought it was going to be quicker.
Well, yeah. And then I saw you and you hadn't slept yet.
Yeah. Yep. That's Red Bulls. Shout out Red Bulls.
Sponsor
me. If you're listening, Red Bull, please sponsor me. I love the taste. I love you.
Keeping us awake during all of our most important life experiences.
You helped me not die. I didn't get in any car accidents, but I did get my car.
Yeah. You did have a little situation.
Yeah, of course that would happen to me. Just an ice chunk that I have absolutely no control over. An ice chunk the size of a microwave just hit my car.
Yeah, that sucks, dude.
And damaged the whole body of the bottom part of my car. So I thought it was just my headlight and I called to get an estimate. I was like, oh, this is going to be like $800, whatever. I have insurance, but it's annoying. And they're like, yeah, it's like $1,100. I was like, cool, that's a lot. Especially when, you're in between jobs, you're kind of just... Yeah, I don't have extra money to just throw out at my car that I just bought.
Right.
I just dropped like $17,000.
Yeah.
I think you should be good for a while.
Yeah, straight up.
But then further investigation, when I got home, turns out I actually damaged a body.
Right, it wasn't just the headlight.
I don't know cars. I damaged a whole chunk of my car that they're going to have to replace the whole front end part.
Yeah, that sucks.
So that $1,100 that I thought was expensive is probably going to be $5,000 now.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, that's not pocket change, you know?
But you know what? I have insurance. I had gap insurance through my loan. So I'm being very responsible. I got to learn how to do a claim with insurance. Never did that before.
I've never done anything like that before.
State Farm made it easy. This is another ad.
Yeah.
State Farm.
State Farm is there. I don't know the jingle, something like that.
Yeah, it was, at least I get to know, but now I'll be here a little bit longer than I was anticipating.
You're stuck with me.
Yeah, it's great. Thankfully I have no commitments in my life.
That is true.
So whatever I can... This is the best worst case scenario.
Yeah. When you were first telling it, it's funny because normally I feel like this is something you could have such a negative attitude about if you really wanted, which would actually be perfect for this podcast. But you're staying very positive, and I'm proud of you for that.
Yeah, I woke up the next day, I was like, wow, should I be pissed?
Yeah.
First off, I was just forced out of Texas.
Yeah, straight up.
I had absolutely nothing I could have done.
Yeah.
Then my car gets hit by no fault of my own.
Yeah.
And now I have to stay also past when I was planning on. And I was like, this is a really good time to be mad. And I was like, nah, whatever.
Yeah. Waste of time.
I'm chilling.
Yeah. I mean, and like when you were telling me that with all the insurance claims and stuff, it's easier for you to be here in Wisconsin. Like really, truly, it is the best worst case. Like it could have been anything else.
Yeah, it could. And I got a doctor's appointment in. And I got in right away.
We love that. Yeah.
Got everything taken care of. I'm being an adult.
You are. You fucking are.
So as shitty of a life as it is to be an adult, I'm doing good at it. I'm crushing it.
You are. You're killing it. A+.
Yeah. And plus my gap insurance, like it's going to be a wash for my car damages, which it wouldn't have been if I wasn't in Wisconsin because it only covers Wisconsin. I don't know how that should work.
Yeah, fucking same, dude. Yeah, I got a lot to learn. I'll say that.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I could be mad that I have to do this, but I'm like, hey, I get to learn something new.
Yeah.
This is great.
You have to learn it at some point, you know. Might as well be now in this kind of a safe space that we've established.
When I have like no time commitments, I have nothing to do otherwise.
Right.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that is true.
Bring it
like
on.
if you had already found a job down there or something, this would just add a whole
Only thing I have on
bullshit.
my list right now is an eyelash appointment first week in
check the
March.
planner.
So I got to get there. That's it. And then I can reschedule that if I need to.
True, yes.
But we're doing good.
I guess I will say, because this was kind of like your big, like, leaving Madison. So in a way, do you feel like it feels, because you had to come back due to an emergency, like lackluster a little bit?
It was, I was trying really hard to, I don't know. I have nothing going on right now.
Yeah.
In my life, period.
Yeah.
No job, significant other, or anything like that. It's really just me,
Yeah.
myself, and I. And so I was a little bit bummed because it was a little bit sooner than I wanted to be coming
Totally.
back. But in general, like, I was like, should I even go back right now? Like, I don't know. What will this do for my internal, like...
Which it is just such a weird pressure we put on ourselves.
Yeah, it's absolutely. So that's what I, like, really try sometimes. I recognize when I'm just, like, over-processing or overthinking. And I'm like, hey, just chill.
Right.
All you can do is live day to day, and
It's not that serious.
you don't need to think about yourself 100% of the time. It's annoying. Like, it gets old, so
yeah,
stop.
it does. Yeah, I feel that as well.
So, yeah, it wasn't... I could have definitely, like, at first, like, the first 2 hours I was driving, I was like, what am I doing? Why am I going back? Like, what's
much
there
time
that's
to
not
think
here?
on this car ride,
Oh, my
yeah.
God. It was so hard to turn off my head. So I put on a podcast. I put on, like, 12 podcasts. I was like, I'll listen to all of them.
Yeah, straight up.
Somebody else talking to themselves versus me talking to myself. I was like, anything
else.
turn it off.
Yeah.
So yeah, I made a mental note to not over process anything or overthink anything. Doesn't really matter in the long run. This is just another thing I got to do.
100%.
Or I'm running from. Just another thing I'm running from.
This one was maybe like a good thing to run from, though. You know what I mean? Like no power is kind of
think-
serious.
I think everyone would have ran if they could. You know, I was fortunate enough. Honestly, this is like, I'm lucky I could just get in my car, go home. Like people actually, like, genuinely, the things that happen in Texas, people have jobs that couldn't even process what's happening. So you can't find power because you can't even do your Zoom jobs, which 80% at least of the world's on Zoom now, you know? And I don't have kids to worry about.
Yeah.
And the thing is too, it's like food, like your refrigerator was off. So all your food's going bad. You can't cook food.
Totally.
You can't do anything. So like
No stove,
I didn't have
no
other people to
microwave.
worry about. I didn't have animals to worry about.
Yep.
So, I mean, overall, I was just like,
If you can, you might as well head out.
go say hi.
Yeah. Right. Straight up.
What's up? Did you miss me?
And I did.
Yeah, I was like, I guess I'm coming back.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I feel like, and we do that, I guess, maybe as a friend group anyways, like whenever we're like, oh, we're leaving, someone's leaving Madison, like we make it such a big thing, which like it is. You did take a big step, but it also doesn't have to be such a, like, it's not like you're coming back for good. You're here until your car gets fixed, and this is just happenstance, you know?
Yeah. I mean, definitely we make bigger deals out of things sometimes.
Yeah, we definitely do.
This time when I leave, I'm going to do an Irish goodbye. Sorry, everybody.
I respect that.
Hated having to say goodbye once, not going to do it again.
Yeah, goodbyes really are the worst.
Yeah, so that's more so the thing that I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that again. And right when I got back, my mom's like, you could stay for the month if you want.
Yeah, that's so your mom.
Like, yeah, I know I could, and I don't want to.
Yeah, right.
Thank you for letting me come here. I sound rude coming to just live at your house and eat your food for 2 weeks.
A week or two, yeah.
But no.
But that's just moms, you know? They miss you.
That's why I was glad to get back, actually, because she was living alone, and I was like main person in her circle.
Totally.
So
Especially during something where like quarantine where You just
exactly.
can't.
And she does it very serious. She takes it very seriously.
Yeah.
If she goes to see people, it's like outside, and with winter, she's actually allergic to the cold. She breaks out in hives if she's too cold.
Oh, shit.
So like she for real needs to be somewhere warm.
Yeah, wow. I did not know that.
Yeah, she'd jump in a pool when I was younger, and if it was cold, she'd break out in hives.
Oh, no. I didn't even know that was really a thing.
It was pretty gross.
That sucks. Yeah. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I got to see her.
This winter.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, let's talk about this because I know you've been just kind of trying to figure out your next moves, which is hard, especially right now. And you quit your job because, well, to be frank, they were kind of screwing you left and right.
Yeah, so I'm terrible at leaving anything and quitting. Like the idea of it just makes me want to throw up.
Yeah, I just quit my job and it was really fucking hard.
Yeah, you did too. Yeah,
Yeah.
So it's like a stomach drop feeling until it happens, and then even then you're like, I don't know.
Totally.
But it was just, I had always talked about leaving, and then I got a promotion at work, so I stayed. And I was like, the most I'll stay at least a year. Like I'll commit a year.
Yeah.
That I can do, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
reasonable.
But around that time right before I got the promotion, I was like, I want to move. But also like, if I had moved then I would have been screwed. Because I had no money. I had nothing set up. I didn't have my life figured out. Still don't, but
Yeah.
I would have been really, really irresponsible to do that. So then it had been in August was a year mark.
Okay.
And then past that, I was like, okay, now I'm just staying because there's a global pandemic.
Yeah.
And I still have a job. And then once it got to the winter months, so I work in a hotel, so winter months especially, like we had no business. So then my hours got cut. So I was working 3 days a week maybe.
Yeah.
And my pay got cut.
Well, plus they laid off half the people you even worked with.
More than half. It was only managers working there now. So
Yeah.
there was like a staff of like 25 people maybe.
So you got shafted with your shifts.
Yeah. So like I was like at that point too, I was like the lowest on the totem pole when it came to managers. So I was just like the one who got weekends and holidays and stuff like that, which whatever, I get putting my time. But when there's only like 20 of us total, I think we should all kind of
share it,
work together better this time. But it was, looking back on it too, I had heard something, they were like saying, oh, we're gonna like cut front desk staff more. And I was like, what's front desk staff? We don't have front desk staff.
Yeah,
it's me and managers. So I was like, I'm fired. I saw that. I was like, I am fired. They sent an email out, and it was like in the staff notes is what they do. So each week it's like an update.
Yeah.
And it got sent to everyone, and I was like, that's me. What am I doing?
Oh, no.
But then my general manager, he talked to me. He's like, I'm sorry that you saw it that way, that I meant to have a conversation with you before. It just like didn't happen because also one person's working a shift, so you don't even run into people really.
Yeah, you're not even seeing anybody.
Yeah. And he was really, really nice about it, but he was like, we are going to cut your hours. Like, you'll still get some pay through unemployment because my hours were getting cut.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like
at this point, you've been through the ropes. Like, is it even worth it?
Exactly. It was chump change. So and so I took it as a sign that, like, this is literally the universe pushing me in the most polite way to be like, time to leave.
Yeah.
That's just, I was losing money and I was working the worst shifts that I could be working in any job.
Yeah.
So,
and you had already had a desire to leave. So, it's just kind of like.
So it was perfect, and it was the most polite way, as opposed to me just being cut off completely. Like my pay got cut a little bit and then my hours got cut. And I was like, okay, now this is, I can't justify it anymore. We're totally my time. So, then I put in my 2 weeks, and
scary thing to do.
Almost pooped my pants.
Literally.
I really did. But I got a great response from everyone that I worked with, and my general manager, like, he was sad to see me go, but he said he understands it. Like, at that point, I was just doing it.
Honestly, out of respect for them.
Yeah, it was more so, I was like, what would they do? But I think I actually helped them in the long run, too, so they, could better disperse the hours because there was too many people there for how little work there was still. So then I started to try to I bought a car.
That's such a big girl thing.
Yes. So I got a car. I kind of like lined all my things up. I was getting rid of everything to get ready to move, and then put in my 2 weeks, and it happened quick.
Yeah, it did happen pretty fast.
Yeah, because it was around Christmas that I was leaving. So just a lot of things going, not really. Actually, it's a pandemic. A lot of things in my head that weren't necessary going on to make it speed up the process.
And honestly, I feel like the fact that it was a pandemic, it just kind of like that, because then we see each other a little bit less. Mm-hmm. So then all of a sudden you're leaving and it was like, fuck.
Yeah. Well, too, that was a huge thing that I had already had the idea to quit. And I was like, oh my God, you're dumb. It's a pandemic. You're not quitting.
That's a hard thing to grapple with too.
But then once it got to the point where I was hanging on to nothing pretty much, I was like, you know what? There's always something you're never going to have everything lined up. And a pandemic is like, it sucks. Maybe irresponsible on my end. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, universe. But in general, I was like, nothing's going to be perfect. And this is actually the best time for me to leave because there's nothing holding me back anymore. I can't make excuses to like not do it.
Well, I will say, like, knowing you would never make a decision unless it was right. Like, you just like, you take the time to actually calculate what's worth doing in this moment. Like, and if anything, you're lucky that the pandemic didn't have to be a holding back factor.
Yeah.
It's other people telling you that that's irresponsible, chirping in your ear more so than like you actually feeling like.
Right. Luckily, I didn't see many old people or people at risk and stuff like that. And I was going to live with Jaden. Yeah. Shout out Jaden for the free housing.
Abode, yes.
For the support.
A roof over your head.
So that like actual pandemic could be a factor, obviously, in some people's lives based on their details, but not mine. So,
well, she's a nurse, so that, you know, now she's vaccinated.
Yeah. So it was super easy for me to decide that, but I don't know. It's easy to overthink it too.
Well, totally. And like at the end of the day, it's so hard to know if you're making the right decision because you just don't.
You'll never get
just
that
have
clarity.
To trust it.
Yeah, you're looking for that, you're screwed forever.
Yeah.
So just know that it's never going to be right and it's never going to be wrong.
Exactly. And like you just have to know if it feels right for you, you have to pretty much take advantage of that because otherwise you don't know the next time it's going to feel like that.
Yeah. No. And I mean, everything was lined up that like I took care of everything. Like I had nothing holding me back at that point.
You really did.
Which is a great feeling.
Yeah.
But now I'm scared to commit to anything ever again.
Yeah. Yeah. I do get that. Well, I know because that's the other part about, and I think you and I are both this way, being such a loyal person, especially to something as, it's kind of dumb to be so loyal to a job, but that's just the kind of person I am. And I know that is how you are too. Like, that sometimes you don't even put yourself first. Yeah. So then committing is scary because if anything, you want that to be like a little bit of a chunk of your life.
Right. Yeah. And so, I mean, part of it is I like being loyal to a company and I like all that, but also a huge aspect too, I think, is that I like the familiarity of it.
Oh, same. I hate being
Once
new.
I get adjusted to something, I'm in a zone, you know?
Totally.
And that's a huge thing that I was excited to get out of. Moving, quitting. It was like I got to just not
get out of your comfort zone a little
do
bit.
things because that's just what I built my life to be.
Yes.
I could actually ask myself, what do I want my life to be? Like I am completely at like starting point 0 again where I can like build into my life what I want.
Totally.
That's why I'm trying to be a little bit more meticulous about it this time around. Mm-hmm. Not that I crafted a terrible life or something.
No,
but I mean, I think day to day, we just go through the motions sometimes and don't ask why, which sometimes I'll admit 1,000% I ask why too much and it's annoying. Stop talking, Lauren. But I do want to just be like enjoying what I'm doing with my time and spending it in the ways that I want, at the places that I want, not because of a job. That's why I was here a little bit longer than I ever wanted. Mm-hmm. And to choose where I'm living and base my life off of that is insane because this job had no room for growth either.
Yeah.
So like just
right. That's true.
Stopping to being like, okay, to what extent are you doing this because you are making excuses for yourself or because you actually want to?
Well, honestly, I think I was in a similar boat. Like I just got to a point where I was ready to move on, but I could tell you 1,000 reasons why I shouldn't. And like deep down, I knew I wanted to. So like, why wasn't I just like, you have to like push those thoughts away because why am I doing that? But like, that's just who I am as a person. I love to set myself up to fail.
Well, and that's a natural reaction to anything.
Because it's scary.
Yeah. You look at, okay, well, where could you fuck up?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, here. There's 10 more chances of you fucking up throwing that away versus you just staying because you know that you got it and you're fine.
And you're used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's part of the fun. It's the worst feeling and the best feeling at the same time. And isn't that just beautiful?
I know. Well, okay. And like, so I'm starting a new job literally in a week from tomorrow. Well, okay. So while we're recording this, I will have started this job by the time you're listening. So check in on me.
Make sure she's doing okay.
Yeah, ask me how I'm doing.
Yeah.
send me like a little gift or a coffee, whatever it is. I'm probably going to need it, but I'm the same way. I hate being new and I'm terrified, but I'm excited. But like, it's so many mixed feelings. And I think until I got the job offer, I was telling myself I wasn't even going to take it. And then when I got it, I was like, I'd be stupid if I didn't take this. Of course I want it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
And so that's interesting though, because we were talking about this a little bit before, but you'll be training.
Yeah, this is what I think I'm the most nervous about, because I hate being new already. But right now my job is remote, as so many jobs are. Which, being remote, I've been working remote for the last several months, but at something I know backwards and forwards. And now I'm going to be like essentially onboarding and learning a whole new job, a whole new systems, processes, whatever, remote from my own house. I don't know what that even looks like. I have no idea, because I feel like you start a new job, you shadow somebody for like a fucking week, and you just follow their footsteps and watch them like a little hawk. And how do you do that? I don't know if I'm going to be on Zoom all week. I don't know.
Well, that's too,
I can't just be set up. They can't just give me a task.
You got it.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah, right. Literally.
Now run with it. You're like, where?
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see. I am nervous for that.
That's a whole nother layer of this new, like job searching now that I do. It does, like, my mind goes to, which,
I know.
Stop thinking you're even going to get a job, Lauren, before you apply. Because you're not. But like, that's where too, I'm like, well, how would I even learn this job online?
I know.
And that's a huge aspect of most jobs now, that you train online and you work from home. And so even if it's something I was totally not qualified for, I'd see a job and I'd be like, maybe, and I'd be like, nope, couldn't learn it online.
I know.
I'm not going to do it. Because but that being said, I know that jobs have to be prepared for that there's a learning curve.
Especially now.
When you're hiring and you're unable to be working together in an environment. Because first off, you can't even pick up the smallest things, like the work culture, like
right.
Who to ask questions to, who's your best resource, you know?
Yeah. Who's the bitch on the team? I don't know.
who's gonna be a snake?
Yeah, right.
Look out.
Literally.
You can't trust anyone.
Yeah, I know, it is interesting. And well, like something, because like my job is obviously, normally I think I'd be going into an office, but also the company I'm going to be working for has locations here in Madison, in Chicago, and in LA. And I do know some of my team is actually based in Chicago. So like there's a plus to that, in that I think they are a little bit more used to doing remote, even just as fresh as the pandemic. Like I think they've been doing this even a little bit longer. So I'm hoping that they kind of know what they're doing, because I certainly do not.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that is on them as to how well they can train you no matter what the situation is, because they know that they're hiring someone
right
online mainly, and you're only going to be able to do Zoom calls or whatever. But the thing I can't imagine is asking, you ask questions when you're new at a place.
Like 1,000 a day.
1,000. Imagine, not to scare you, to make you really happy, but if you took the amount of questions I'd ask on my first day and then typed it out into like an email,
I know.
I'd have 1,000 questions, and some of them would be so stupid I wouldn't even want to type them out. Right. But you just ask when you're there, and it's not weird, and people don't think twice. But if you're sending a whole email calling yourself out on everything you don't know,
you're like, this bitch is so dumb.
Hey.
Yeah, when you really put it on paper.
Yeah, like if you actually, like, you're going to have to like write all your questions out and then actually highlight the ones that you think are important enough to ask.
I know.
Just so you're not asking 1,000,001 questions. Not that there's anything bad with it and it's normal, but when you type it out and call yourself out like that, it's a different level.
Yeah, it is.
That I just can't imagine. I don't.
I know. Well, and it's one of those things too where like, because it's going to be all on the computer and probably all on Zoom, like, I don't know. I really hope that I just can pay attention, which just sounds so dumb, because like, yeah, bitch, you fucking better, like, that's on me, but
sink or swim, Sam.
Yeah, straight up. But like, when you think about like taking an online class, I'm not as invested as I would be if I'm sitting there in the lecture, just like, you know, with,
oh my God, and
with
if
no
you're training
distractions.
with somebody still in person, your mind kind of goes blank half the time.
Yeah.
But when you're making eye contact with somebody, it's harder to be somewhere else.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're just on a Zoom call where you can't,
no one's holding
you
me
have
accountable.
No input either. You're
right.
just there to absorb.
Yeah.
oh my God, keep my attention how?
I know.
You guys better be singing songs or something to keep me awake and entertained.
Right.
Because that sounds like, and it's like, obviously for me, I would take thousands of notes that aren't even necessary to just keep my mind in check. Like, even if I'm reading a book, sometimes I take notes because I'm a psychopath.
Right,
and, like,
just to make sure I'm actually focused.
Attention span, if I wasn't doing that, I would have processed one word out of 1,000.
100%.
That's it. That's just how my brain works, and it's not well. I'll admit that. So if anyone knows anything, let me know. But, like, that's, how are you expected to just sit there and absorb information for however long they want you to?
Right.
So you'll have to get some bulletproof coffee.
Straight up. Yeah.
Take a bunch of fish oil that week. I hear it's good for your memory.
I should do that. I know. I have to write all these things down. We've talked about, because we talked about green tea. We talked about bulletproof coffee.
Yeah. Maybe smelling salts.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Don't those keep you up?
I think so.
I don't actually know. I thought they do. They're not good for you. I know that.
Yeah.
But they're like,
these
wake
are the
you up.
risks you have to take.
Isn't there something that, like, if you were to have a concussion and, like, pass out, there's something you can smell to wake you up right away?
Yeah.
Is that what smelling salts is?
I think so.
Perfect. We found it.
Yeah.
Order it on Amazon.
I'm going to be up for 3 weeks. Hilarious.
It'll be insane how focused you are.
Yeah, right? They're going to be like, wow, this girl, she might be actually batshit crazy. We're not sure.
You don't know what happened.
But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, and that's the thing. I won't know until I'm in it. So
you just gotta fully immerse yourself in it, whatever it is, and don't overprocess it.
Yeah. I know, because I love to overthink before things happen, which is just like the dumbest thing you could possibly do.
Who doesn't? And then it's like, set yourself up for failure.
Straight up. But also, you can't stop yourself from doing that.
Yeah, no.
There's no amount of meditation I could be doing that would keep me from having these thoughts.
It's disgusting. I hate it. I hate it.
Same. But yeah, I don't know, because you're in a position right now, I feel like, where you just don't entirely know what you want to do next. And while I think that is both so awesome and so challenging, because it's just like, how do you even know where to start?
Yep, it's welcome to hell. You want to talk about not overprocessing and then see the amount of thinking I'm doing for no reason sometimes, considering I have nothing going on. It's great. But yeah, I have no direction, really.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to admit that, but I absolutely don't.
Yeah.
I'm very open to a lot of things, but I want to be, like, I could easily apply for a job and just get something.
Right.
But I want to be very meticulous about, like, what I proceed with.
Totally.
And especially at, like, when I was younger, I feel like I just, like, went for a job just because, or whatever. It's like entry level.
Yeah, and you just can.
I want it.
And it doesn't have to be permanent.
It's easy. I can always leave.
Yeah, right.
Did I ever leave? Not until 2.5 years later, or until the place closes down. I didn't leave Sparkers until they shut down.
Yeah, straight
up. I was in school and working already, and they're like, you want to come back? I'm like, yeah, I think so.
I fucking guess.
But yeah, it's a lot of internal work.
Yeah.
I guess is the word, which, let me tell you, I'd rather have a full-time job and work 60 hours a week than have to process my internal feelings ever again. 1,000%.
Yeah. I mean, it is like just so much self-discovery you have to do. And you know how hard that is? It's just like so much digging into.
It's exhausting.
It is.
What's a goal?
Yeah. Fuck goals. We
don't want them, don't need them, I'm fine.
Straight up.
Leave me alone. But so, yeah, it's, I mean, if I'm being frank, have I applied for one job? No. How long has it been? About 2 months.
It's okay.
But I set myself up enough so I didn't have to rush into something, because I know that if I rushed into something, I wouldn't be making the right decision, period.
Yeah.
So I realized recently, which is great news, that I don't have career goals. Like, if you were to ask me to write out career goals, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I'd be like, don't look at me. And even things that I want within a job, I often feel like I got uncomfortable establishing, because I'm very free-spirited gypsy woman-like, which is just my BS way of saying I don't want to set boundaries or make rules for myself.
Yeah.
But like, even things like setting out what kind of salary I want, the hours I want to work, things like that, I couldn't do it. I was like, I feel like that's putting too much of like me in a box.
Sure.
What? No, like, that's where you should base it off, you know, like, that's a good starting point.
Yeah.
So before, I feel like I was very afraid to do anything like that, also because of the fear of disappointing myself too.
Totally.
Absolutely there. And so I think that's a huge thing for me, is checking my ego a lot more, because in regards to jobs and things like that, I think everyone feels this way, but especially I don't have a degree in anything. I don't have a degree. If you had asked me in high school if I was going to college, 1,000%. I'm not an idiot. My mom's an academic advisor.
Yeah, true.
Where is she?
You honestly should have gotten some type of completely free ride for that.
I know. I'm saying, come on.
Everything's a setup.
But yeah, so now I've been realizing, okay, well, where's a good place to start is trying to establish career goals at least.
Yeah.
So I got a great podcast.
Hell yeah.
It's called Find Your Dream Job. I think it's by Max List.
Okay.
And they've got really good, it's like 300 episodes on like small things about finding a job, like apply for the jobs that you're underqualified for, how to create career goals. So they have a huge episode that I listened to and made notes on, as you saw before.
Yes.
To try to help me then establish goals for myself and then find jobs that would fit inside those career goals.
Well, and I liked it really seems like they just break it down into things that are actually tangible, because a lot of the time when you say something big, like, what are your career goals? Fuck that. Where do you even begin? I don't know.
Yeah. And that's a huge thing where this starts out. It's like, okay, well, what's a career goal for some people? Like what you would say versus like someone might say like X amount of money. Some people might say a schedule. Some people might say to
in
be
this field.
Yeah. So a career goal could be something different for everybody.
Totally.
And hearing that, it's like, okay, fuck you. I don't know.
Right. Literally.
What is my career goal? And that's what this one really helps you. It helps you break down like things as like small as like what kind of salary you want to have, this and that. And then also use your strengths and weaknesses and figure out what field or like what kind of job you should be working in and like what your essence is, which sounds like a loaded question, but that's like one part of them helping you. And then you piece it all together to kind of figure out what kind of job would be best.
Yeah.
You'd be best suited for. So as opposed to finding an actual job, I'm going to spend probably the next week developing career goals and putting off, again, finding a job.
But I respect that.
But I do want to be more intentional with my next choices and commitments. So I think that this will be a good starting point.
I think so too. And it's interesting because I guess in that aspect, I feel like we are in a similar boat. I feel like I've always kind of known that the thing that I like, my jam at the end of the day is writing. Like that's something I know about myself. But then the job that I just recently quit really fell into my lap. Like it wasn't something that I sought after, which isn't to say I didn't love it, because I really liked the work I was doing, but it wasn't, well, because I actually got the job because I was interning at a local women's magazine here in Madison, and I interviewed my boss for a story. So which first of all, you guys, it literally is all about who you know. Like that, yep, you should know that as well. Because I never realized how big of a deal that was, and it is, and it kind of sucks that matters so much, because
it sucks. It's not fair to say.
It's not. And like making connections is hard.
Yeah. And if you don't know someone or your parents don't know someone, like my mom doesn't know anyone that I would know.
Fucking same. My parents can't help me. My dad's a DBA. I don't even know what that means.
No clue.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you.
I know I don't want to be one.
That's all you know. That's all you need to know.
And so like that job kind of fell in my lap. And I mean, I've been working there for like 3 years. Well, full time for probably more like 2.5. But yeah. And so it's just really interesting, because then I was kind of like, I know that I think I'm ready to take the next step, but I really want it to be a step that feels like, it doesn't have to be my dream job, but I just want it to feel like a step in the right direction.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Or just like growth or pushing yourself or something like that. Like we all kind of need something that keeps you wanting more.
Totally.
And I think that's important. And that's another thing too, is I think that especially starting out just with everybody, absolutely me, you don't really almost go after a job you want. You fall into a job. Yeah. I feel like when you're younger, it just starts out that way and it just kind of works out. You're like, okay, I guess I can make this work. Totally. Oh, I got a job opportunity. Sure.
Because you'll take anything. We're technically underqualified for everything.
Yeah. Oh, no, you're supposed to be 22 and have worked 7 years as a doctor before you can work at Starbucks now.
Yeah, literally.
It's bullshit.
It is
it's
bullshit.
A setup.
It is.
And so that's a huge, like the hardest part I think about a job search is feeling underqualified and not good enough for it. And that's something I'm trying to work on.
Yeah.
But especially not having a degree really makes me feel like insecure about applying for jobs when really I know that if I had an opportunity in something, I could kill it or I could stay for forever.
You're one of the hardest workers I know.
So, well, now I got to apply for jobs.
Woo!
Will you be a reference?
Yes, I fucking will.
She won't leave you, bitch.
Literally.
Good luck getting rid of her.
Yeah, she's with you for life.
But yeah, I think that's a huge thing is just the insecurities that come along with job search and kind of letting that head garbage is what they call it in the podcast that I listen to.
Head garbage.
Is like addressing it and just realizing it's really mostly internal.
Yeah, it's coming from you just talking down to yourself.
Yeah. And I think too that's a huge reason people, especially our age, I mean, don't get me wrong, some people have, a lot of people do. And all of my friends are doing things that they enjoy for the most part that I see. Yeah. But I think that especially at the younger ages in careers, at least, like in regards to having a career, we're at the youngest.
Totally.
Pretty much. Before us, you're in college, you know?
Right.
So I think setting career goals as well was always something I was like, I'm not going to do that because I will not attain my goal.
Yeah, totally.
And then you feel disappointed in yourself. But it's like, if you don't ask, you'll never get it. And if you never think that you're worthy enough, you will never be worthy enough.
Right.
Period.
Right.
Not to say I'll be a doctor actually, probably in a year and a half. That's what I heard.
I see that for you.
I'm a nurse. Jaden, I'm taking your job.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I think that asking for things too at our age is like something that makes us very insecure in regards to careers. And I need to learn how to ask more.
I know, but it feels icky.
Yeah. It sucks.
And that's a part of like making connections too, like actually using them. No, thank you, because now I feel like I'm just like I'm using you. Like I feel like
it feels like, slimy. Like
it does.
It doesn't feel like.
It doesn't feel natural.
No,
and it's not really supposed to be.
No, and like that's just not some networking. Woof.
Yeah, what a buzzword,
nope,
right?
Thank you.
Right.
If I can't meet you up for drinks, I don't want to talk.
Straight.
We have nothing in common. Let's just start there.
I know.
If we can establish that, then we're good.
Yeah.
And I don't need you in my network anymore.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to delete your LinkedIn request.
Yeah. So, yeah, but one thing that I've been enjoying doing lately is especially me just not being able to figure out what's going on in my head. I've been asking a lot more people about their jobs and their day-to-day jobs.
Yeah.
We've talked about this, that every single job is actually just a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, they're all fake. Everything's
they're
fake.
all made up.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, so you mean there's like 3 levels within your company that could be cut out?
I know.
Because I don't get it.
Yeah, literally.
This sounds fake, and it is.
I mean, what I think is so crazy is at the end of the day, not to discount anybody's profession because whatever, but like...
But if you're a manager,
yeah,
you could be without. I was a manager. I will tell you right now, you could have deleted my position and everything would be fine.
Nothing would change. I know. Well, and the other thing is too, like at the end of the day, we love to sit here and be like, oh, we're not qualified for this, that, or the next thing. Neither are the people who are actually in that position half the time.
Nobody knows what they're doing.
No one.
Nobody knows. Unless you're entry level or the CEO, everything in between is just like, maybe we should try this.
Right. Literally.
Like entry level, it's very straightforward. You're here to do one job and just take up the hours that nobody wants to work.
100%. You're doing the groundwork.
CEO created this whole pyramid scheme.
Yeah, right. Literally.
And knows exactly who is fireable immediately.
Yep.
Like who's dispensable. Everybody but the person working the front desk and getting paid the least.
Yep.
I'm sorry, it has to be that way. There could be like 2 people in between.
I know.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me trying to discredit everybody else because I feel underqualified, and that's my ego talking.
But I mean, it just is crazy because, you know, growing up, literally even in college, you just think all these people have jobs, everything's legitimate. Nothing is legitimate. Everything's made up. You kind of just like, no one really knows what the fuck they're doing. Being adult isn't real.
Mm-mm. It's a joke. It's kind of
Everyone's
funny.
Just pretending.
Yeah. Like, I think I'm working.
Right.
I think I'm in charge of like 10 people, but
who's really to say?
What I'm doing, I don't know.
Right, exactly.
But it is cool. But genuinely, it's cool when I talk to people who are passionate about what they do, especially at our age.
Yeah.
Like that's exciting, and that's like something that I want. And
Me
I was
too.
like, I recognized that I wasn't. Like,
yeah.
I remember talking to somebody, and I was like, you have to go to work because I was visiting there for a vacation. And he's like, no, I'm like actually excited to go to work. Like we're closing a deal today. Like I enjoy what I do every day and it makes me excited. And
right.
I'm like, I could not imagine.
I know.
And I didn't know people existed like you And that makes me want to find something that I enjoy doing and waking up to do, you know?
We have to spend so much time on it. I'd rather have it be something that I like really actually care about.
Oh my God, yeah. And you base everything off of your job. Like
Straight
if you can
up.
go on vacation, based off your job. If you
Where
can get
you
time
live.
off. Where you're living depends on where you work.
Yeah.
You know, like everything that comes down to your day to day is based off of your job.
Which is kind of fucked up, but
That's just our
just
society.
the way it
but
is.
Let's not even get into that can of worms.
Yeah, right.
Jesus Christ, we could be here for 24 hours talking
for
about
fucking real.
everything wrong with society, including me. It's great. It's great. But question everything. I tell you, it's going to suck.
I know.
Always.
Right? Like you just can't even go there.
Yeah. So who knows? I'm trying to enjoy the process more.
Yeah. Well, and I think that that's also a big part of it because otherwise it's just either scary or overwhelming or it feels like work. And if you can just like kind of enjoy it and like, I think honestly, some of the self-discovery you're doing sounds fun. Like I want to know that about myself.
It was cool to be like, oh my God, I can set career goals.
Yeah.
I didn't know I actually could.
Yeah.
Like that's fun. And I could do a lot of self-discovery in other places. Probably I need to do a lot more in
Don't
every
we all?
other avenue of my life besides my job. But luckily this one's the front and center one because I need money to live.
Right.
So it is cool realizing I can actually figure out career goals.
Totally.
Like that's fun.
Yeah. Try saying that 5 times fast.
Yeah, nah. I can't speak, but I can figure them out, okay?
Yeah. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think that's what's like important. I think that's why everyone around our age just like, you know, a quarter life crisis, that shit's real. And that's because we just don't even know who we are yet. And all of a sudden we have to figure it out. We're just pushed out into the real world and then we realize everyone's faking it. And then we're like, we're scrambling.
Everyone's faking it. Yeah. I can't even. And I'm like, why are we all doing this then? If no one wants to, let's call it quits.
Yeah. Start a commune.
Even in regards, my mom's 54 and she hates her job now. Yes, she loved it at a point.
I think my dad does too.
Don't get me wrong. I think it's the people she's working with, things like that.
Yeah.
You're old. You get tired of bullshit quicker, I think.
100%.
But even she's like going to retire soon to then just do something different. Like everybody, I feel like, not everybody, that was an exaggeration, but a lot of people aren't doing exactly what they'd want to do, but it's too hard to switch.
Yeah.
Or to pivot.
Totally.
So to pivot takes work. And if you have a job and you can't quit your job and do what I'm doing,
right.
Find somebody free to live with forever, Jaden.
Well, and that's what you can't do when you're older because you have bills and kids and
right. And then so to pivot in your career when you're older takes so much more drive because you have to do it in your off hours. You have to do it when you're tired, when you have other responsibilities outside of your regular 40-hour work week. And so I'm just trying hard to try to figure out something that I don't have to pivot from later.
Yeah, like set yourself up now.
Don't get me wrong, I will have to pivot later.
And I think everyone does to a certain extent.
I think it's about growth too. If you feel like you can't grow within your career at the
wherever
job that you're at or at the level that you're at, then what's motivating you to keep going almost?
Totally.
So that's a huge thing that I didn't have at my other job. It was
very stagnant.
There was nowhere to go. Like there was no up from there. So it just kind of became, okay, well, I'll just go in and out. Like I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't need to try anymore.
Right.
I'm a great employee.
Yeah, exactly. We've reached the peak.
If anyone's listening, I'm a really good employee as long as maybe there's an opportunity for you to pay me more.
100%. Yeah, I got to chase the race. I feel that for sure.
If that's it, okay?
Yeah. We all want more money. That's why we're here.
We just want money. If you want to sponsor me.
Yeah. Actually, if you guys want to throw a GoFundMe together just to let Lauren live her life as she's doing right now.
I'll let you guys know every day how's it going.
Yeah.
I'll check in.
Check-ins.
Yeah. It'll be fun for everybody to learn from one person how to commit to nothing ever again.
I like that.
But I need your guys' support.
Yes.
She'll attach my LinkedIn and you can send me a message through there.
Absolutely. We'll put it in the show notes. Okay. Well, speaking of support, because I guess we can wrap this episode up, but this is a really good conversation. And this is something new that I'm doing that I feel tacky, but also you guys love me, right? So it's okay. If you want to support the podcast, we are new on Patreon, which is exciting for me because I have established these fun little tiers for you guys to be members. And, you get, in exchange for your support, you get some fun bonus content, bloopers reels, exclusive episodes, and endless love from yours truly.
You could hear me sing. That's going to be on bloopers.
Yeah, you can.
Just kidding. You won't. So
She's
it's
gonna
worth
do
it
a little
still,
number
I promise.
for us. Well, thanks for joining me, Lauren.
Thanks for having me, Sam. It was fun to process the death of our ego.
Right? That's what I'm calling this episode, I think.
Death of our ego.
That's
great.
Amazing. Well, yeah, I'm glad I could actually convince you to do this. And it was fun. And I'm excited for you and your next steps. It's a scary place to be, but I feel like it's also really exciting.
Yeah, if anyone wants to hire me out there, just hit me up.
Yeah, if you're in Dallas.
If you want to offer me $100,000 starting out, maybe I'll consider it.
Just maybe. You hear that, folks?
Just maybe.
I'm actually going to put your LinkedIn in the show notes, though, because that's funny.
Oh, great. I just updated the picture, okay? It's good.
You did.
Yeah.
I love that about you.
It's gross. I hated it. I hated taking that picture. It was horrible.
Dude, taking photos, whatever, in general, feels awkward and uncomfy. For some reason, taking like professional photos,
Business photos?
a whole nother level.
First off, who invented them?
Yeah.
We had them when people were selling houses in like the 2000s. Right. Why does anyone actually have a headshot now anymore?
I know.
It's a lie, and it was rude that I had to take it at my house alone on my iPhone as I propped up like a stool so I could get like the sunlight.
Yeah, you gotta have that natural glow.
Yeah, it's gross, but we
It
got
is, but it's a good photo, I will say.
So
You look like a
sponsor me.
professional gal. Yeah, connect with Lauren on LinkedIn, everybody. And thank you for listening. And I will chat with you guys again next week. Bye.